Okay, you're going to have to overlook me. I want to take you on a garden ramble, but my phone just ate the video. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's get back to the important stuff, the Mounjaro trolls and the woes that I've had. So I'm a very open person. I really don't have a lot to hide. And because of the bravery of the other people that had shared their stories, I decided to share my story as well. So I've, a channel that had been here almost 4 years, never seen maybe 3 to 5 trolls. Oh, here they come out of the woodworks. And it's really funny because a lot of the trolls enter and they enter my chat and they don't know who I am, which is someone with a master's in psychology who has supervised criminal felony level offenders for over a decade, worked with children in state's custody, youth in state's custody with drug addiction and trauma backgrounds, and I've worked with juvenile, basically prisoners in wilderness boot camps that were there instead of going to juvie or prison. So I have a very intense background of angry people that have had to deal with me, and I've had to deal with them, and that's okay. People get angry. Anger to me and aggression is fear used in the most inappropriate way. And when you're fearful because you don't know how to handle the situation. You're going to fight or flight. And you're going to fight or flight because you're having issues within yourself. Either you feel abandoned by society, by your family. You feel as if no one is representing you. You feel as though you don't have a voice in the world. Or you feel less than others, so you must go online and try to make someone feel less than you. So I look for motive, behavior, actions, and cognition. What are you able to be aware of? What is your knowledge capacity? And for some, sadly, it's not a lot. And for others, they do this as a release form because they live in their amygdala all day long in fight or flight, trying to navigate society because they're very introverted. And then they go home and they think they're coping by becoming extroverted as this masked villain online. It's not working. And it doesn't make people feel really bad. Now, it might make some people feel bad. For people like me, I got some pretty thick skin. I've been called everything but a white girl, and I supervise some pretty rough people. So you're going to have to get up pretty early in the morning, know quite a bit of Latin and some other languages, and really pick your words carefully and know how to spell them before it's really going to hurt me. Okay? Literally, it only hurts if you can spell it correctly. And by judging from most of the trolls' grammar, I really have nothing to worry about. But I see this as something that is such a negative in our society, because what it means is I'm trying to do something positive, and they come on and treat me as though I'm a negative. Quote the people last night, God hates obesity. Okay, well, you don't know anything about my story, how I was injured at work, and before I was injured, I was not this person. I was a very buxom Amazonian, scary, muscled up woman, and worked in the corrections field. I haven't always been this way. But my question back to them would be, have you always behaved in this manner? Because to me, that would say more about your worth than my worth. They don't want to hear things like that. They don't want to know that they have any value, because they don't want to see anyone else as value, because they feel like they don't have any value. So if you try to tell them they have value, they get even meaner. And it's because they don't see themselves as having value. And it's sad to go online and see probably very young or young to young middle-aged people having such antisocial and almost, the behavior of a sociopath. But if I were to go online and do something negative, it would be commended and called positive. If I were to go on and do, this is my second day of going out in public and being a giant turd to everyone I meet, I would have 1 million followers who would want to see what I did that day. But we seem to be bogged down by these people that hide behind keyboards and act out, and they don't want to understand what the root of their issue is. And they get very, very terrified, scared, embarrassed, and jealous of people like you and I that can tell our stories, show our faces, and identify with you all and build a bond. So, the most frustrating part of sharing this story, sharing this journey, has been the trolls. And it's not because they're frustrating, it's because I have great subs, I have a great little family, and we just don't like that behavior. It's just, we don't tolerate that behavior. We don't behave that way, and we don't want to be surrounded by people that behave that way. And it's sad to say that in this world that we live in, people would rather make fun of someone who is trying to better themselves, who is trying to slow down a terminal illness, than to think about what they're doing and what their behavior is actually costing them. Because if you get into this antisocial routine of going home and coping by going online as this masked villain and taking out your angst against the world in such an unhealthy way, that antisocial behavior is going to begin to become a routine. That routine is going to lend toward more of a sociopathic or possibly even some kinds of psychopathy. Many times antisocial behavior is linked to borderline personality, and we don't understand that until people are seen for several years in counseling. Then we go, oh, shucks, we should have noticed that earlier. A lot of people that are dysfunctional within society, they come home and take it out on people like you and I that are brave enough to put our faces online. So what I have to say to these people is this. You have value. Whether you believe anyone else does or not, I will tell you that you have value. But I also want to remind you that when you were made, God spit in the mud and molded you. So you have humble beginnings. So you need to remember that. We also need to remember that people choose their behavior. They choose the path they take in life, and they choose how they react to things. And I choose to react by not giving you what you want. You want me to become emotional, and I'm not going to become emotional because I'm the one packing around my butt every day. I know exactly how big it is. Okay? I mean, you're not telling me, oh, you're just so fat and obese. Why do you think I'm on the medicine, you dumb butt? It's like, you're 1 for 1. You want to try again? Oh, and I think you're ugly too. Okay, I don't look the best in the world when I come on here. I don't put on makeup. This is just me. You're 2 for 2. You want to try for 3? It's just a stupid little game. And I want people to stop feeling overwhelmed by these people that are so insignificant. They're so ineffective as human beings in the real world, the real social physical interaction world, that they have to go home and try to get humanity points by being turds online. I want to say, be brave. Be braver than those people. Know your worth. Okay? God made everybody, but not everybody makes good choices. Try to make good choices. Try to love yourself so that you can love others. But here's one thing I want to tell people that are starting a journey that they want to share so that it gives other people the bravery to also take that journey. You are going to run across people that are going to try to tear you down at every turn, at every word you speak, at every sigh you take. They're going to want to try to tear you down because that is how they get their joy and their dopamine and their serotonin. And it's a very sad, sad thing. They are addicted to your sadness, to your unhappiness, to your emotional squabbles. Don't give it to them. Here's what I want to tell you. Some people don't understand how close they stay to what they were at birth. See, when people are born, they're about that far from a butthole. And sadly, some people never get very far from their origin story, and they remain a butthole for life. So if you have the bravery to tell your story, do it. Don't let these people that want to come on and antagonize you, don't let them bother you. I know that everything I'm saying is going to help somebody, regardless of any of the harm someone tries to do to me. I mean, really, what can you do through a screen? You can call me names. And literally, after supervising the offenders I had for a decade, seriously, you're going to have to drag out some big old books and use some big old words. And I just don't think that you have the patience, the capacity, the cognition, or basically the energy levels to really, really start a squabble with me. I'm just too laid back. I'm just so laid back. But I want people that are passionate about change and that are passionate about sharing their changes and inspiring others to make changes to know that's way more important than any troll, any nasty word, any nasty little paragraph they post. It's the beauty of change, the power of change, the power of sharing your story, the energetic sharing is so much more powerful. And there's so much more grace and beauty in someone that's willing to stand stripped before everyone else and say, this is how I'm dealing with this problem I have. I hope you don't have this problem, but if you do, maybe you can find some help from how I'm dealing with this problem. There's so much beauty and grace and humility in that. Don't let someone take that away from you. Don't let someone tarnish the crown that you're wearing that day, because you are doing something that is so important. So important. So love yourself. Love yourself enough to tell your story, and don't worry about the trolls. Miserable people are always going to be miserable, and they're always going to make other people try to feel miserable, because if other people feel miserable, they think they feel better because those people are sad. I'm not as sad as them, so I'm better than them. Listen, that's not how humanity is to be measured. That's not how your days are supposed to go. And if you get your joy out of trying to harm others, you're on a very slippery slope to mental illness, personality disorders, antisocial behavior, psychopathy, sociopathy. You're on a very slippery slope. It leads to many, many, many other issues. It changes the neurosynaptic roadways in your brain. It changes your chemical components and how you get your serotonin and dopamine and all those other hits. It basically puts you on an endorphin rush that you can't imagine any other way in life, and therefore you get this lustful hankering to hate. And you become someone that cannot function within society, that cannot hold a job, that does not have the capacity for love, and does not have the capacity to even love themselves. And I don't want to see anyone turn into that. So even if you are a troll, know that you are worthy of love, and you need to back away and start trying to be a better person today. Because if you don't, the roller coaster only goes downhill from here. And I say that from a retired counseling component and someone who supervised convicted felons, murderers. You don't want to know where such a deviant, mischievous, malicious, malevolent mind will take you. And I think many of you don't understand that. And you just want to hurt because you feel hurt. Maybe perhaps you should ask for help, or you should watch videos on other people struggling with that same thing, so that you can find ways to prompt yourself to make those changes. I would suggest you write a list of things that you like about yourself. And when you see someone you want to pick on or you want to try to harm, make 3 reasons why you shouldn't. Start to alter the way that you chemically respond. Start to change the pathways that your brain takes, because you're training yourself to be an absolute ogre. And ogres in society normally do not have happy lives. So I just, want to put this on here because there's so many brave women and so many brave men sharing their journeys and getting absolutely bamboozled by people. And it's just, it's just sad. It's very sad to see it happen. It's very sad to see people just see you for 2 seconds and generate your worth by 2 seconds of seeing you and not know any of your background, not get to know you, not understand your story. And that's where the ignorance comes in. That's ignorance is bliss. And a lot of these people are very blissful. They're very blissful in what they're doing, but they don't understand how ignorant they are when they're doing it. For the people that are sharing your life and your story and your struggles and your dealings with this weight loss journey and your dealings with your diabetic issues and stuff like that, you're brave. You're more worthy, than any of the trolls combined. Keep doing what you're doing because you're bringing hope to other people. And while I was not diabetic, because of my disorder, I am not a knee replacement candidate. I cannot have any other corrective surgeries. Therefore, I have to get off this weight that I gained with all these surgeries and all these steroids. I have to get it off, or the illness will spread to my organs quicker and I will have a shorter life. So I'm basically trying to live as long as possible because I have things worth living for. And so people that come on and think they're going to call me names and they're going to reduce my zest for life and my zest to live longer, are you stupid? Do you really think that's going to change how long I want to live and how much emphasis I'm going to put into myself? Are you really? Is that how little emphasis you put in yourself? Why? Do you not love yourself more than that? I hope you do. I really hope you do. Because for a lot of people, the emphasis you put in others when it's hate and rage is normally about a tenth of what you put in yourself, because rageful, vengeful people are very empty and void and vacuous. So for the people that are going out and attacking these people, take a visit internally in your brain and your ego and your heart and see how empty it is. Try to fill it with love rather than hate, because that slippery slope to a very deficient, very chemically deficient brain and happiness deficient life is awaiting you if you maintain this journey. And I had to say this because it didn't bother me what they were saying. I can banter with the best of them, but it really bothered my subs. I have some very good subs. I have some elderly subs that do not like the stupidity of this younger generation. I don't like the stupidity of this younger generation. Hello, I'm just 45. I'm not archaic yet, but I think we should expect more of each other, and I expect more of you if you visit my channel and you watch my videos. And if you don't have more to give and you can't be a better person, then I'll just block you and let you go. But my genuine hope is that someone watches this and someone understands that what I'm doing is unhealthy. It reflects more upon me than it does upon the person I'm watching. It shows that I have huge deficits in how I'm handling my own mental and physical and emotional well-being. And I need to ask for help. And I need to learn to love myself. I hope everyone learns those 5 lessons. And anyone that's struggling can take those 5 things, write them down, and begin to work on them. Because you're not hurting others, you're basically hurting yourself. Other people that are aspiring for change and to improve themselves are not going to be waylaid by someone else's ignorance or intolerance of change. So, this is just kind of my rant moment, because I'm going to continue to share my story. I'm going to continue to share how my body's changing. I'm going to continue to share all the ins and outs of this journey with other people because they deserve to know it. And because I will not be stopped by people that are too ignorant to understand that the only way in life to be successful is to grow, change, and learn to accept others. Even if you don't like them, learn to accept them. And while I'm learning to accept you, I certainly hope that you also change, because I don't accept your behaviors because those behaviors are dangerous and they create bad habits that can ruin you mentally, emotionally, and physically. So just be careful, and try to have positive interactions. There's nothing wrong with positivity. Sadly, this world says there is, but there's nothing wrong with positivity. And people, keep smiling. Keep loving yourself. Keep loving other people. If you can't love yourself, you can't love others. And don't be ashamed of yourself. And for all the trolls that want to say nasty things in the comments, yeah, I'm fat. I got 40 acres plus in the back. You can pucker up and kiss whichever acre you want. It does not bother me, because I'm going to keep doing this. And I literally am more invested in myself and the people out there that are trying to make these choices to improve themselves than I am. And your very unintelligent words and your vacuous statements, you don't even spell things correctly or use appropriate grammar. It's actually comical to watch. It's like going to daycare and having a toddler wipe snot on you and think they've gotten away with something. It's But my journey is more important. Helping other people is more important. The positivity is more important. And so for you people that are on the fence about Mounjaro, this is one of the negatives if you choose to share your story. But I have nothing to hide, and I'm a huge turd, and I will keep going, because when you tell me to stop, I will grab the bit and run every time. So be prepared. I'm going to do more of them now. You're going to get to see my fat butt way more. You're going to see my waistline. I'm going to start measuring. I'm going to start showing you daily just what I look like, because now I know I have such a fan base, and maybe I can take a lot of their woes away from you. You know, maybe I make a better target than I do anything else, and that's fine. But, you know, just to amp me up, I'm going to do more, because positivity, that's what matters. And I am absolutely positive that I am going to make everyone so sappy, sick of me from how positive I'm going to be about what I'm going through, that they're going to get tired of attacking. And I'm just gonna wait them out. I'm just gonna energetically be more positive and just wait them out. They will run out of words to use eventually, because I'm here to tell you, cognitive decline hits early when you are very, very introverted. So I'll see y'all tomorrow with another Mounjaro update, because I'm a turd. And for everybody else, I love you. Love yourself. Love others even though they're buttholes. But by God, make a barrier, make a boundary, and do you. You get one life. You better live it. And you better smile as much as possible, too. That's also one thing I do better than you trolls, because I got these beautiful cheeks. Y'all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.